Welcome to the golden age of hard rock, and come on in and have a seat in the basement of the golden age of hard rock. And I know, basement of the golden age of hard rock, and there's no rock memorabilia on the walls. That's called being married for 33 years and your wife not sharing the same obsession that you do. Anyway, let's kick this Dio talk off with an IPA. And check this thing out. This is Brew Dog, a brewery out of Columbus, keep it up there, Columbus, Ohio, that has partnered up with Bruce Dickinson's brewing company, Trooper, and they're producing this Hellcat IPA. Put it in this glass here. And I'm gonna have, which glass? This is the newest addition to the collection. And when I say collection, it means I've actually been to the Hard Rock Cafe in this location. And this is my newest one, Pittsburgh. I think the last video was London. That was, I think, August or end of July that I was over there. But this Pittsburgh glass I just picked up. We were in town, first time ever in Pittsburgh for the Eric Clapton show at whatever the arena was there, PPG Arena. First time there. Anyway, cheers. Okay, so today we're going to talk the trifecta of Dio, those first three studio albums that still, in my mind, those are my three go-to albums that I listen to on regular rotation from Dio. In fact, one day I will enjoy learning all of the stuff that are on all of the later albums. But for me, those first three with Vivian Campbell, Jimmy Bain, and Vinnie Appice, man, those are the three that get the most play from me. And those three, released in 83 for Holy Diver, 84 for Last in Line, and then in 85, Sacred Heart, the last one to feature that lineup with Vivian Campbell. You know, it was just 9 songs on each one of those albums. So we're just talking about 27 songs for that lineup, that classic lineup. And you know what? I just don't think that there was some good stuff that was made after those three, but it just doesn't have the same vibe to me as those three, the input of all 4 of those musicians working together. And it's often been said that, you know, by the players themselves, that Wendy felt everybody was interchangeable, that this was just about Ronnie and you were just in a position and tomorrow somebody else could take that position. You know, I don't think she could be further wrong than to assume that they're not bringing something to the plate. And just the way that those 4 people worked together and wrote, it just doesn't sound the same to me whenever you remove one of those people from the equation. Okay, so let's get into this. We're going to rate these albums to find out who's the best. I'm going to use a mix of the facts and then my opinion. Okay, so first, let's go with the facts. It's a fact that one of these albums has sold more copies than the other. Let's start with last place will be Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart has only sold just shy of 700,000 units. And to me, I find that amazing that really it's not even a platinum album. Hey, I'm glad that I own one of those 700,000 copies. So coming in second place, do you know what it is? It's not the winner, it's Last in Line. Last in Line has sold 1.6 million copies worldwide. So that leaves the winner in this first category is, and I keep looking down here, I've got my artwork from the albums. The winner for this first category is Holy Diver. Has sold 2.7 million copies worldwide. And if you saw some scribbling on there, that's because that is signed by Vinnie Appice. I had him sign this one and this bad boy here, Last in Line. And just a little personal comment on this. When Vinny signed this for me, he says, I'm going to leave some space over here in case you run into Vivian one day. Of course, at that point, Ronnie had already passed away and Jimmy had already passed away. But that was nice of him to think of that. Okay, so the winner of the first category, 2.7 million copies worldwide, Holy Diver. Okay, the second fact that can't be denied is each one of these made it somewhere on the charts, each album. Now, when you're talking about charting, it's kind of a game of, you've heard the saying, you run a race, you can only compete against the people that show up on race day, right? So these are all different in that they were competing with different albums at that time. But it is a fact that they each have a highest charting position. And I'm going to go with the USA for the charting because, just for instance, out of the last album, Diver Down, 2 million of those copies have been sold just in the USA. The other 700,000 worldwide. So we'll go with the US's charting of the Billboard Hot 200. So coming in last is Holy Diver. Kind of surprises me. The highest it made it onto the charts was position 56. Second up is Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart made it to number 29. Your winner in this category is Last in Line. Last in Line climbed all the way to 23. Another amazing fact, Dio has never had an album that got into the top 20 for albums for the year. I find that amazing. Okay, each one of these albums had one or more singles. So, hey, who's got the highest charting single? And it is not Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart had Rock and Roll Children, which came up to 26. Second place was Rainbow in the Dark. Rainbow in the Dark made it up to number 14. Your winner in this category, the song Last in Line from the album Last in Line, made it all the way to number 10. So at least Ronnie did have once in his life a top 10 single. Okay, now we're going to get into my opinion. Not fact, my opinion. Who has the best artwork? I'm just going to tell you because I think you probably think the same thing, but who knows? Bam. This baby right here, painted by an artist named Gene Hunter. I mean, this is an awesome, awesome piece of art. And I just, Last in Line's not bad, but I think nothing beats Holy Diver. So I'm going to give that to Holy Diver. Next up, opening track. Dio is known for his opening tracks. Which is the best? Stand Up and Shout, We Rock, or King of Rock and Roll? Well, I'm not going to give it to the King of Rock and Roll. So it's between We Rock and Stand Up and Shout. And I could take a long time to think about it. I'm just going to go with Stand Up and Shout. So another one for Holy Diver. In my opinion, the best closer. Dio is also known for epic closing songs with his years with Black Sabbath and Rainbow. Okay, it is not going to be Shoot Shoot from Sacred Heart. Gosh, this one is very close for me. I'm going to give this one to Egypt. The Chains Are On. Next category, in my opinion, each one of these albums has a title track that is the title of the album. Which one did it better? Okay, another easy one to say. No, it's not going to be Sacred Heart. Whew. Gosh, which one would you guys pick? I'm going with Holy Diver. I might be a little bit biased here, but I'm trying to keep my biases out of it. Okay. And now I have some bonus points that, not really category, but I have 2 bonus points that I want to award. and one is to Holy Diver. Bonus point awarded for the MTV video, Rainbow in the Dark. You guys remember this video. And, you know, I'm thinking about this. I can't remember a Black Sabbath video on MTV for any of the songs from Heaven and Hell or Mob Rules. So for a lot of people, the first time that you saw Ronnie James Dio in a video, it was when you saw Rainbow in the Dark on MTV. You know, just those street scenes of walking through downtown London, the Soho district, Piccadilly Circus, the bridge, Ronnie wearing those goofy white boots on top of the building. But for a lot of people, it was, there's Ronnie James Dio actually moving and not just a photograph of him, which was, I think, about all I had seen back then. The kids don't know how easy they've got it today with YouTube and things like that, basically the internet in general. Back then, you had what came on the album covers. That was what you knew about the band, unless they were on some late night show doing an interview. You didn't see actual footage of them. And one bonus point awarded for the MTV video for Rainbow in the Dark. Second bonus point awarded to Sacred Heart. The reason why, 1985, movie came out, great movie, Vision Quest, starring Matthew Modine and Linda Fiorentino. And it was based off of a 1979 book. I forget the author's name right now, but it's the same name, Vision Quest, about I don't know if it was Portland, Oregon, but a Pacific Northwest, maybe Spokane, Washington, a high school wrestler. That's what the story was. But it was the first time that Dio gets a song on a movie soundtrack. And it's a pretty decent soundtrack. It's not a heavy metal soundtrack. It's a mix of songs. But the placement of Hungry for Heaven was perfect. It's a scene of you guys will know it if you remember it. Otherwise, I would still recommend going to watch it. I don't know how good the movie has held up over time. I just remembered that I liked it in the 80s, you know, Top Gun type feeling to it. But the senior wrestling team is on the school bus, and when the doors open, you get the Hungry for Heaven. And it was just like such a great placement of a song in a movie to fit that vibe on the bus at that point. So bonus point for Dio making it onto a soundtrack for a good movie in the 80s, and kudos for that. Glad I still listen to that soundtrack. Actually, it's got, I think, Foreigners on it, Hot Blooded, there's some Madonna songs, Crazy for You, Gambler, Red Rider, had a great song on there, Lunatic Fringe. Anyway, bonus points. All right, let's get down and see how these all shook up, okay? Okay, so let's jump in here. Just with earning 1 point in last place. Yep, you're out of here. Sacred Heart, and I love all these, but Sacred Heart, you're out of here. Now we're down to just 2. Here's your answer. Your winner has 5 points. Second place has 3 points. Yep. Here's your winner, baby. Okay, so there you have it. The winner is... My biases have kicked in. I don't know, a mix between my biases and the facts, but there's your winner, Holy Diver. Thanks, guys, for joining me for this episode. And until next time, keep rocking.